Good morning, dear students. As you know, test series is going on, and today the examination of science held. It is question test series 2, but exam test series 1. I am going to solve the answers of the questions of the subject biology. First, section A, question number 3. What is variation? The characters of the young ones which do not resemble the parents are called variations. You know that the characters which resemble the parents is called inheritance or heredity, and the characters of the young ones which do not resemble the parents are called variations, like hair color, skin color, etc. Question number 4. What is the role of acid in our stomach? Acid in our stomach is secreted by gastric gland, and it plays two important roles in the digestion. First, it kills all the harmful microorganisms present in the food, and the second one, it activates the protein digestive enzyme pepsin. Means it helps in the activation of the enzyme. Otherwise, if there will be no acid, the enzyme will be inactivated and there will be no action of that enzyme. Or name the raw materials required for photosynthesis. And there are 4 raw materials required for photosynthesis. These are CO2, H2O, water, sunlight, and chlorophyll. These are the raw materials essential for photosynthesis, but the most important are carbon dioxide and water. It's question number 4. Or so if the students write carbon dioxide and water only, it will also be corrected. Now question number 5. List 1 functions of testis of human male reproductive system. The one function of male reproductive system, testis, you know, the primary sex organ, and it forms the male gamete sperms. So the main function of the testis is to produce the male gamete sperm. Now come to the question number 13. With regard to various food chains operating in ecosystem, man. What is man? Options are consumer, producer and consumer, producer and decomposer. So man is a consumer, option A. Or if a grasshopper is eaten by a frog, then energy transfer will be, grasshopper is eaten by a frog, then energy transfer will be from producer to decomposer, producer to primary consumer, producer to primary consumer to secondary consumer, secondary consumer to primary consumer. So grasshopper is, what is grasshopper? Grasshopper is producer. So the, and frog eats on the insects, or grasshopper is the insect. So the here the grasshopper is the primary consumer. Grasshopper eats grass, so grass is actually the producer, grasshopper is the primary consumer, and the frog is the secondary consumer. So here the answer option will be C, primary consumer to secondary consumer, because grasshopper is the primary consumer, frog is the secondary consumer, and grasshopper who feeds on grass is the producer. Now come to the question number 18. Question number 18, it is given there carbohydrate, pyruvic acid, like this one. Carbohydrate, pyruvic acid, CO2 plus H2O and CO2 plus C2H5OH. It is X Y and Z plus energy here and plus energy also here, means energy released in both processes. This is the question. Carbohydrate to pyruvic acid, here it is given X, here Y and Z. Then the question is like that, identify X, Y and Z. So carbohydrate convert into pyruvic acid. You know, carbohydrate convert into pyruvic acid. This process is known as glycolysis. So the answer of X is glycolysis. Then Y, pyruvic acid to carbon dioxide and water, means it is complete oxidation process. So here Y is aerobic type of respiration, aerobic. And Z is anaerobic type of respiration. Anaerobic. So here X glycolysis, Y aerobic and Z anaerobic. Option 3 will be the answer. B, the process X occurs in, means here you will have to write site. The process X means glycolysis. Where does glycolysis occurs? In cytoplasm. And Y represents the anaerobic respiration. So Y occurs in X, here X is the cytoplasm and Y means aerobic respiration, where aerobic respiration takes place in mitochondria. So answer will be cytoplasm and mitochondria respectively. Option 2. Option C, in which of these organisms the process Z takes place? Process Z means this one. CO2 plus C2H5OH, bacteria, yeast, humans and spirogyne. So it is, since ethyl alcohol takes place, so it is fermentation process, and you know fermentation takes place by the yeast. So yeast is the correct answer, option 3. Yeast is the correct answer, option C. Now come to the D, in which part of the human body do process Z takes place? The process Z means this one. So the process Z means anaerobic respiration. In which part of human body Z takes place? The muscle cells. In muscle cells, liver cells, in kidneys, in liver cells. So anaerobic respiration actually takes place in the muscle cells. So option 1 is the correct answer. Now fifth number, where does aerobic respiration occur in a cell? All you know that mitochondria is known as powerhouse of the cell. Why? Because here complete oxidation of food takes place by releasing large amount of energy. So no doubt the answer will be the first option, that is mitochondria. There will be no cytoplasm, nucleus and plastid. So aerobic respiration occur in a cell, mitochondria. That's why cell is also called powerhouse of the cell. Now come to the question number 20. There it is written the passage. So I don't want to read the passage. It is written in the question paper. I am on the writing. I am only doing the questions given on that passage. It is necessary to conserve our environment. Which of these in the reason to conserve our environment? Environment को conserve करना क्यों जरूरी होता है? To save water, option 1, to save water, air and soil from pollution, to maintain ecological balance, to save ozone layer. All these are very important. So answer will be the fourth option, all of these. For question number 20, question number A, answer will be 4. B, the green and blue dustbin signifies for biodegradable waste and non-biodegradable waste, non-biodegradable and biodegradable, eco-friendly waste, domestic waste. So green represents the biodegradable waste and blue dustbin non-biodegradable waste. So answer will be first. The first option will be the correct. The green refers to biodegradable waste and blue dustbin refers to non-biodegradable waste. Now question number C. Why are plastics difficult to recycle? Because it is very hard material, because different sizes of plastic, because it is very adhesive in nature, because of different types of polymer of resins. So it is polymer of resins, that's why it is very difficult to recycle the process. The question number D, in the following groups of materials, which group or groups contain only non-biodegradable? Only non-biodegradable. Wood, paper, leather, ये तो biodegradable है. Polythene, detergent, PVC, a non-biodegradable. Plastic, detergent, grass, here grass is biodegradable. Plastic, bakelite, DDT, non-biodegradable. The answer will be 2 and 4. 2 and 4 कहाँ दिया? Option 4. So it is for the question number D, the option 4 will be correct. 2 and 4. Question number E, which of these non-biodegradable waste generated daily in kitchen can be recycled? Polythene bags, plastic containers, vegetables waste. So both A and B can be recycled, that is polythene bags and plastic containers. So certainly the answer will be fourth option, that is both 1 and 2. Now come to the question number 23. Describe surgical method of birth control. Surgical method of birth control, 23. It is permanent method which cannot be reversed, and rest of the methods can be reversed. So there are two types of surgical methods for birth control. One is vasectomy. It occurs in males. And the second one is tubectomy. It occurs in females. So during the vasectomy, vast difference is cut and tied to prevent the entry of sperms into the ovary duct. Vast difference of both sides, cut and tied to prevent the entry of sperm. Similarly, in the vasectomy, tubectomy, which occurs in females, the ovary ducts of both sides cut and tied to also prevent the meeting of the sperms of egg. So these are the two surgical methods. In common language, we can say it nasbandi, and this type of the methods are surgical. It is done through the operation, minute operations, and it is permanent method. It cannot be reversed. And the rest of the methods, like the physical method, barrier methods, chemical methods, this can be reversed. और इसके और में भी एक क्वेश्चन है, what are chromosomes? The chromosomes are actually the thin and thread-like structures and carry genes. The chromosome carry genes which are the hereditary units responsible for transmitting the characters from parent to their offsprings. And the rest part, where these are located, so we all know chromosomes are located inside the nucleus generally. So in most cases, nucleus is the main site of chromosome in the cell. Now question number 29. Question number 29, explain the process of aerobic respiration in mitochondria of a cell and anaerobic respiration in yeast and muscles with the help of word equations. Word equations which just you have studied in this one, which we have seen question number 18. यही चीज़ है. In the third one, CO2 and H2O. Here, इसी से आपका हो जाएगा question number 18, CO2 H2O. So it is the aerobic respiration in a cell and anaerobic respiration in yeast with the help of word equation. Means aerobic respirations you can see of such type C6, H12, O6. Here glucose is completely oxidized to form CO2 plus 6H2O plus energy. It is aerobic respiration because here oxygen is used. Aerobic two types, aerobic one type, anaerobic two types. In yeast, fermentation takes place like this one. TCO2 and muscle cell. Here lactic acid will be formed. Lactic acid. So in 29, in muscle cells, lactic acid will form, which accumulate in our muscle cells, causing muscle fatigue, what we call tiredness of muscles also. And in mitochondria, there will be complete oxidation, releasing large amount of energy. And in yeast, ethyl alcohol will form, and with the and carbon dioxide will also be released. And this process is also known as fermentation. So it is all about the 29 questions. Question number 29. Now come to the question number 30A. Question number 30A, fission, fragmentation and regeneration are all considered as asexual reproduction because question number 30A, we are discussing fission, fragmentation, regeneration all considered as asexual mode of reproduction. You know why? Because during asexual mode of reproduction, only single parent is involved and all the offsprings which produced as a result of asexual reproduction are similar to their parents. So fission in amoeba or plasmodium, fragmentation in Spirogyra, regeneration in planaria. You know, planaria shows the highest power of regeneration among the animal kingdom. So in all these types of reproduction, single parent is involved and offsprings are identical to their parents. There will be no genetic variations. That's why all these types of reproduction is considered as the asexual mode of reproduction. Now B, with the help of neat diagram, explain the process of budding in Hydra. Budding here I am discussing, suppose it is Hydra, tentacles, it is body, and at the lateral side of the Hydra a small bud arises, a small bud. Then these buds develop for few days, developing a small tentacles, and finally these buds separate and form into new daughter Hydra. So the most important thing in budding is that the existence of parent is remains there. Means parent ये जो है ये अपनी जगह पर है, and these buds develop and separate. There will be no any change in the parent. Whereas in fission what happens? Suppose कि just an amoeba, and so suppose it is two amoebae are formed, then there will be no existence of parents in the case of fission. Now come to the question number 31. It is based on the monohybrid cross of Mendel. Question number 31. In a pea plant, the trait of flowers bearing purple color, purple is considered as the dominant, over white color which is recessive, explain the inheritance pattern of F1 and F2 generations with the help of a cross following the rules of inheritance of traits. State the visible characters of F1 and F2 progenies. इसमें आपको F1 और F2 progenies दिखाने होंगे. तो सबसे पहले यहाँ पर ये देखना है कि what is parent. It is monohybrid cross like Mendelian cross. The parent is pure purple and pure white. Pure purple is the dominant parent and pure recessive is the white parent. A capital P capital P represents the dominant trait and a small p represents the recessive trait. So then what will happen? First of all, we will form the gametes of these two parents. How the gametes will be formed? These are the two alleles of a gene. So in one gamete, one allele, in another gamete, another allele will टेक इट्स पोजीशन, मीन्स दोनों गैमेट जो बनेगा तो हर जीन का एक अलील एक गैमेट में एंड द सेकेंड अलील इन द डिफरेंट गैमेट, व्हाट वी कॉल लॉ ऑफ प्योरिटी ऑफ गैमेट्स. इन द सेम वे इट इज ऑल्सो फॉर्म टू टाइप्स ऑफ गैमेट, स्मॉल p, स्मॉल p. Means these two gametes are prepared. Now the F1 generation. How the F1 generation? It is purple dominant character and it is white small p recessive character. Then how the F1 generation will be arise? We will cross these gametes with this one. So according to the Punnett square, we will put one gametes on one side, another gamete on another side of the square, like this one. Consider this one male symbol, this one female symbol. Capital P, small p, this one capital P, small p, capital P, small p, capital P, small p. So here law of dominance follows, and according to the law of dominance, the capital P, that is purple, dominates over white. So this flower will look purple. Why? Because there is character of white also. लेकिन ये white नहीं दिख रहा है, क्यों? क्योंकि purple is dominant over white. Purple ने white को डोमिनेंट कर दिया, मतलब डोमिनेंट हो गया व्हाइट पर कहीं, और व्हाइट क्या हो गया? रिसेसिव हो गया. तो इसमें सारे के सारे जो रिजल्ट आएंगे, ऑल द प्लांट्स ऑफ पर्पल फ्लावर. ऑल पर्पल फ्लावर्स. तो इट इज द प्रोडक्शन ऑफ द फर्स्ट जनरेशन F1. F1 मीन्स फिलियल. फिलियल मीन्स क्या होता है? पीढ़ी. तो पहली पीढ़ी ये पैरेंट गैमेट्स एंड दिस फर्स्ट जनरेशन प्लांट्स कमिंग ऑल पर्पल फ्लावर्स. Then in the for getting F2 generations we will do the selfing among these two. और selfing means self pollination. Same parent capital P, small p cross with the capital P, small p for obtaining the second generation. Now we will prepare gamete in the same way as the previous cross. One gamete contains capital P allele, another gamete contains small p allele. One gamete contains capital P, another small p. Now we will obtain the F2 generation. F2 generation, on one side capital P, small p, another side also capital P, small p. Male female, capital P, capital P, capital P, small p, capital P, small p, small p, small p. It is purple. It is purple like following the law of dominance. It is also purple and it is white. Means out of 4 plants, 3 plants of purple and one plant is white. Means what is phenotypic ratio of this one? Phenotypic ratio means the externally appeared character. Externally appeared character purple, purple, purple means 3 and 1 white. The ratio is this one. Yet capital P also looks purple and capital P, small p also looks purple flower. But here what happens? This P is capital P is dominant over small p. Here it follows the law of dominance. So genotype of these two purple flowers are different. So genotypic ratio will be different from the phenotypic ratio. genotypic ratio will be 1:2:1, means 1 capital P, 2 capital P small p, and 1 small p small p. So, and the pure purple 1, pure white 2, and hybrids are the 2. So, pure purple and pure white 1:1. So, this is the Mendelian cross based on the monohybrid cross, means taking one character, that one character according to the question paper between the dominant purple and the recessive whites. So, it is all about the question number 31. Now come to the, I think, last question, 35. 35. Here, draw a diagram of female reproductive system. So, just actually diagrammatic representation I am giving you in 2 minutes. This is a diagrammatic representation of the female reproductive system. It is ovary, oviduct, yeah, fallopian tube, what we call, uterus, vagina, lower narrow end cervix, lower narrow end of uterus, and the vulva, external opening of the female reproductive system. So, this is the diagram, rough diagram or diagrammatic representation. You can also draw with your books, no problem. Draw a diagram of female reproductive system. ये हो गया. Write the important function of ovary and oviduct. The important function of ovary are the two. First, the formation, maturation, and the release of egg from the ovary into oviduct, what we call ovulation. So, first very important function of ovary is to form, mature, and release of female gamete, that is egg or ovum. And the second function to release two hormones, estrogen and progesterone. And the oviduct, this oviduct, after releasing the egg from ovary, it comes into the oviduct, and through this side the sperms come and finally fertilization takes place. So, the function of oviduct is the fertilization, that is the fusion of male and female gametes. It is the answer of 35(2). 35(3), write any one function of uterus. Uterus is the hollow pear-shaped structure formed by the union of two oviducts, and the main function of the uterus is the development of embryo throughout the gestation period. Throughout the gestation period means the, you know what is the embryonic development period in human being? 9 months, yes. So, 9 months or 272 to 80 days. After 1 week, this zygote settled in the uterus, and for the whole rest of the 39 weeks, or you can say about 8 months and 3 weeks, the development of embryo takes place, and after development, the birth of the fetus or baby take place. So, it is one function of the uterus. Now, there is one और, इसके और में भी एक क्वेश्चन है, उसको हम लोग करके लास्ट करें. Define excretion. You know excretion? The removal of nitrogenous waste from the body. Nitrogenous waste. नाइट्रोजिनस वेस्ट मीन्स प्रोटीन वेस्ट, प्रोटीन के जो वेस्ट होते हैं इनको नाइट्रोजिनस वेस्ट कहते हैं। और हमारे बॉडी से जो मेन नाइट्रोजिनस वेस्ट निकलता वो यूरिया है मेन। हाउएवर द वेरी फ्यू अमाउंट ऑफ यूरिक एसिड इज ऑल्सो प्रेजेंट इन द यूरिन, बट द मेन नाइट्रोजिनस वेस्ट विच पास थ्रू द बॉडी ऑफ ह्यूमन इज एक्सक्रीशन, whereas in aquatic animals like fishes, prawns, the ammonia is also passed out through the as a excretory waste. So excretion means the removal of nitrogenous waste from the body of organism या animal you can say is called excretion. Whereas egestion is another thing where the undigested food is passed outside through the anus. So this is the most important difference between the excretion and egestion. Name the basic filtration unit. Basic filtration unit, you know what is the basic filtration unit? Nephrons. Nephrons are the structural and functional unit of kidney. A structural and functional unit of kidney. And each kidney contains about 10 lakhs nephrons which continuously form the urine which pass out through the urethra at frequent intervals. Now question number C, draw excretory system in human being and label the following organs of excretory system. तो अभी ये तीन पार्ट जो है, the organ which form urine, long tube which collects urine from kidney and store urine, ये तीन पार्ट को हम मेन बना करके आपके सामने बहुत शॉर्ट में दिखा रहे हैं किडनी का। Suppose it is kidney. From here it is either ureter, and it is urinary bladder, urethra, sphincter muscle. Main excretory organs are the kidney, ureters, urinary bladder and urethra. So here first the first option for the first number question answer, which part form the urine? So form the urine, this kidney part form urine. And the second question, long tube which collects the urine from kidney are the ureters. It conducts urine. For the second question, this one is the answer. Conducts urine from kidney to the urinary bladder. And the third part and the last part is store urine until it is passed. So urinary bladder is related to the storage of urine. So formation of urine takes place in the kidney, and long tube which collects urine from kidney is the ureter. These are two in number, which collects urine from the respective kidneys and bring it towards the urinary bladder, where the urine is stored. And when urinary bladder filled up, there is contraction in the smooth muscles of urinary bladder takes place, and finally the urine pass out through the urethra by the process of micturition. So this is all about the explanation of all the questions of the test series 1, which is held today, that is on 23rd January, and this is test series question number 2. And best of luck for the second test series. Thank you. Have a nice day.